Anji.
Yes.
So first of all, good evening to all. Like I hereby welcome all the distinguished speakers, delegates, academicians, students and professionals who are present here for the Vision Quest 2.0 episode 1 on transition and skill development in the EV industry. Sir, as we all know that the world is rapidly shifting towards e-mobility, there is a need to create sustainable development of skill of students, academicians, and industry professionals to match the EV industry demand and fulfill their requirements. Vision Quest is an initiative taken by ISI India to make awareness, create sustainable skill development, and make a way forward for electric mobility. An electric vehicle industry is electrifying the job market, with the global EV market set to reach a staggering 1,103.17 billion US dollars by 2030. The demand for skilled workers is soaring. In fact, it's estimated that by 2030, the EV industry will create a massive 10 million direct jobs and even more impressive 50 million indirect jobs. There is a need for workforce development in the industry. They are in requirement of co-workers of maintain the service electric vehicle, such as electric automobile and electric bike. In this emerging business, as the industry is expected to create an ample number of jobs soon, the lack of skilled workforce can be a problem. So there is an urgent need for the existing workforce to upskill and reskill themselves. And those who wish to launch a career in the domain should have a proper training to join the EV industry. Today in this expert talk, we will be going to talk about such important aspects related to transition and skill development in the EV industries. As we are honored to have esteemed speakers and delegates with us today to discuss on this topic. So firstly, I would like to welcome our today's moderator for the program, Dr. G. Suresh Babu. He is a professor triple E, Chaitanya Bharati Institute of Technology. He is specialized in electric drives, energy management, renewable energy. He is a member of bodies like MIE, ISDE, MLISLE, SEPA. He has held various positions at institute level like head of department, chairman of Energy Audit Committee, CPIT. He is Lifetime Achievement Awardee by VT Good Professional Association and Outstanding Contribution to Engineering Education Awardee from Imperial Society of Innovative Engineers, ISIE India. He has also published 40 plus research papers and a patent. And now I request to Dr. G. Suresh Babu to give a short note on the topic and moderate the further session.
Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Screen is visible now?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed participants, it is my privilege to welcome you to this virtual plenary session on transition and skill development in the electrical vehicle industry. Today, we gather here to discuss the global scenario surrounding this dynamic and transformative sector. To provide you with a comprehensive overview, let us explore the key milestones and developments in the EV industry in chronological order. To start with, I welcome you all for this Vision Quest 2.0 episode 1, that is transition and skill development in EV sector. First point of my keynote address goes early adoption, that is early stages, and environmental awareness, which is took from last 1970 to 1990. The early seeds of environmental awareness were sown in 1970s itself, when the need for sustainable alternatives to fossil fuels became apparent. Increased concerns about air pollution, greenhouse gas emissions, and dependence on oil drove efforts to explore cleaner transportation options. Governments and researchers started experimenting with electric and hybrid vehicles, laying the foundation for the EV industry. Coming to second point of my keynote, technological advancements and government initiatives, which was took between 2000 to 2010 decade. Rapid advancements in battery technology, particularly lithium-ion batteries, provided the breakthrough needed to drive the EV revolution. Governments worldwide recognized the environmental and economic potential of EVs and began implementing supportive policies, including tax incentives, subsidies, and research grants. Market leaders such as Tesla emerged, challenging the status quo and pushing the boundaries of what electric vehicles could achieve. That is the second point of my discussion of today's keynote address. Coming to the next one, that is expansion of charging infrastructure, which took place majorly between 2015 to 2020. During this period, significant technological advancements were made in EV batteries, extending their range and improving their performance. Tesla Motors played a pivotal role in bringing electric vehicles into the mainstream and successful launch of their model sedan, showcasing the capabilities of EVs and challenging the notion of the limited range. Next one, acceleration, that is what we call EV market growth and international cooperation, which took place between 2020 to 2023. The period from 2020 to 23 witnessed a significant acceleration in growth of EV market worldwide. Several major automakers announced ambitious plans for transition to electric vehicles entirely, signaling a shift away from internal combustion engines. Key countries and regions, including Europe and China, implemented stricter emission regulations, setting deadlines for the phasing out of traditional fossil fuel powered vehicles. And next one is rise of electric mobility ecosystems, that is from present day 2023. What is going on currently? The present era marks the rise of comprehensive electric mobility ecosystems, encompassing not just vehicles but also charging infrastructure, renewable energy integration, and smart grid technologies. This is about rise. And next point is collaborations also took place during this period. Collaborations between automobile manufacturers, energy companies, and technology firms have become more prominent, driving innovation and seamless integration of EVs into existing infrastructure. In fact, today's forum is the best example of this one. Next point is skill development and training challenges. With the rapid growth of EV industry, skill development and transition challenges have emerged as critical areas of focus, which is going to be discussed now. Traditional automotive workers need to upskill and adapt to the evolving technology and manufacturing process in the electric vehicle sector. New roles and job opportunities have emerged, requiring specialized knowledge in battery technology, power electronics, software development, and charging infrastructure. Next point is, what is the importance of training and education? To meet the growing demand for skilled professionals in the EV industry, training and education programs have gained significant. Vocational training centers, technical institutions, and universities have started offering specialized courses and curricula to equip individuals with the necessary skills and knowledge for the electric vehicle sector. That is about 7th point. And last but not least, looking forward to future. That is future outlook and opportunities. The global shift towards electric mobility. The global shift towards, yes please, am I audible to you? Vikas ji?
Yes, sir, your voice is audible.
Okay, thank you. Coming to future outlook and opportunities, in fact, if you see, the global shift towards electric mobility continues to gain momentum, driven by advancements in technology, environmental consciousness, and supportive policies. Not only that, opportunities abound in the EV industry, including research and development, manufacturing, and charging infrastructure and associated services. Last but not least, collaboration between governments, industry leaders, and educational institutions will play a pivotal role in ensuring a skilled workforce and a smooth transition to an electric future. So this is what I would like to share with you all, dear panelists and my dear participants. I would like to conclude my keynote like this. That overall, the global scenario in the EV industry has experienced remarkable progress, transitioning from early adoption and government initiatives to technological advancements, infrastructure expansion, and market growth. The current focus lies in building comprehensive electric mobility ecosystems and addressing skill development challenges. By embracing training and education programs, we can ensure a skilled workforce capable of driving the transition towards a sustainable and electrified transportation future. I look forward for a fruitful discussions and insights during this plenary session. Thank you. Now, I take opportunity to welcome all the panelists to this forum. To start with, Dr. Sayal Gavankarji, Namaste, Vice Chancellor, DY Patil University. I welcome on behalf of ISIE with the virtual bouquet to you, Madam. Namaste, Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Next, Mr. Alok Reji, Assistant Director, SMEV. We also welcome you to this forum with the flower bouquet.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Next, Mr. Ramesha BSG, Head Academics, Altair. We welcome you, sir, with flower bouquet. Please do accept it.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, sir.
Mr. Sudhamshu Pati, Head Technical Training, Hero Motor Corp Limited. We welcome you this flower bouquet, sir. Please do accept for our invitation.
Thank you. Namaste.
Next, Mr. Navoli Das ji, that is Advisor ICVET GSZ India. Welcome you, sir. This virtual flower bouquet. Please accept and join us, sir.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you and namaste.
Last but not least, our own peer, Mr. Vikas Sharma ji, who is Manager Operations, who is the man behind the total this event. I welcome him. He represents for ISIE India to this forum. Vikas ji, namaste. Now,
Thank you, sir. Namaste.
Now, I stop sharing. I will come to the point. Now, I would like to have panel discussion such that we will go ahead about discussing, and especially on this, whatever I have given keynote on that points, let us discuss. To start with, what kind of support we can expect to encourage the development of niche and scalable jobs. I request one of the panelists to take up and Sayalji.
Okay, I was thinking that the
Okay, please,
technical
please.
team. So very good evening to all of you. Thank you so much for inviting me here to share a few of my thoughts as academician. Really thankful to the ISIE India, Suresh, and all the team members. It's always wonderful to be the panelist with industry experts, especially. The reason is academia always look forward to have understanding and insights from the industries. Having said this, it was a good presentation which was been given by Mr. Suresh, Professor G. Suresh, who gave a brief idea how the industry is growing and what kind of challenges are there. I think, yes, of course, EV market across the globe is increasing in terms of percentage. And it is expected being the 5th largest economy of the world. And of course, the 5th largest moving towards 3rd one. I think in case of automobile industry also, it's growing at its speed. And therefore, UN, the 16 SDG goals are playing an important role. And one of them is how we can take care of environment and climate. So with this respect, I think the whole industries and the world thinkers, researchers, developers have taken great amount of effort to give the product which can really work to the environment, green energy, which we always talk about it. Having said this, I think when we look at it, the role of India Energy Storage Alliances, which is again the increasing in terms of the CAGR report is almost 36%. So when we look at when the whole analysis, when you go through it, we know it very well that we look at the population rises and the demands which are happening, especially for the vehicles, where we are talking about growing those and depending on and moving, how can we move from conventional energy to the sustainable options. So I think that is what is happening, and we know it, how the world is facing challenges in terms of crude oil. So when we look at the reports of CAGR and the IBEF, Niti Aayog also is making the tremendous changes that how they can achieve the EV cells, the penetration of more than 70% of these kind of cars and more than 30%, I think, the private cars. And of course, they're talking about increasing 40% of buses and more than 80% of two-wheelers or three-wheelers by 2030. So when we look at it, that the kind of growth and then the moving towards zero carbon emission, I think by 2070, that is what we are aiming at. And when we look at it, I think the complete shift in terms of the development has to be taken care. And wherein it has been said that, yes, since from 2000 onwards, the government of India is taking the amount of effort for implementing various policies and programs. And that is what we have seen it very successfully. But while doing this, I think one has to also look at into that two things are there whenever the growth of any product or any innovation comes in picture. So he has given a wonderful examples like Tesla, which has always been talked about, the EV vehicles. I think when we look at not only with Tesla, but today, if you look at it, Maruti and Mahindra and Tata's, all of them, they are trying to come up as a business model because opportunities are growing in terms of the increasing the manufacturing of the products. And one side, the growth is there in manufacturing, demand is also increasing. But at the same time, there are certain challenges and gray areas which we need to we need to really look into it. If you look at it, when we talk about business opportunities, there are number of schemes by the government of India has been announced, like FAME is there, like faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles, right? So this was been launched to promote the growth, right? Then PLI scheme is also announced, especially for the battery storage, which is one of the challenge with all the industries, and where we are talking about advanced chemistry cell, that kind of stuff has been they are trying to work on. there are also the other initiatives are also happening where we are expecting that the government is also trying to push it in terms of tax exemption, right? And at the same time, they're also working on that, how we can reduce the custom duty on the nickel, or the ore which is coming, right? So I think all these things are looked into. At the same time, if you look at that, if we want to really gain the momentum by 2030, I think we need to focus on certain areas. So what kind of the areas which we need to look into? So I think one of the important thing is that which all are the skill sets are required, and that's what Indian education institutions and the universities are trying to figure it out, that how we can, because at the end of the day, the industries are also depending on us, because BTech programs and MTech programs are launched at all the institutions, and wherein a lot of changes have been done in terms of program structures, credit, and of course the various specializations which are offered. So while doing this, I think we need to understand which are the skill sets that are required in terms of two. One is of course soft skills, and at the same time we are talking about the technical skills. And I think these are required to be identified and designed very well, and that is what the universities are doing. They're trying to find out which are the core areas are required to be looked into. So if you look at it, yeah. Okay.
I think one question is there. Sudhamsu ji want to raise a question. We'll give a chance. Sudhamsu ji.
Professor Suresh, probably I would like to add on, being a panelist, I need to add on. Yeah, please continue.
Okay. No, we thought that you have raised your hand. You want to ask a question.
Yeah, no, I want to chip in between to answer the question, because I thought of it is related to the industry.
So it's inherently answered by Madam, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, thank you. Dhanyavad Sudhamsu ji. Dhanyavad Sayal ji. Next, I have a question for this forum. That is, how can we, that is especially original equipment manufacturers of this EV and automotive manufacturers have shifted towards EV manufacturing, what would be the critical roles they are playing in India's EV roadmap, along with skill development at industry level and also at institute level? This question looks like very complex. This can be split into 2-3 parts. One person can discuss about industry, another person can institute level. What is the role of OEMs in this EV sector? Over to the panelists, please.
I will take to jump in here, sir, if you give permit.
Kindly.
Thank you. But I'll give a scenario over here with respect to EV companies. For example, if you go back 100 years where IC engines are predominantly in the market, there are several companies who wanted to digest this particular technology and dump the product into the market. But over a period of time, you have seen the consolidation of these industries, and you will see hardly 30 to 40 players are there right now, right? So similarly, right now, we have a lot of EV companies who are trying to digest this particular technology. And one trend is very simple. The number of EV companies who are using the products imported from China to create these kind of EVs. That means in-house production is very less, but most of the products are outsourced. Okay, they bring in those parts and they're going to do it. So this is the act of sustainability. That means they need to survive first, so that they can spend money on research and development. During integration, they'll find a lot of challenges over here. Over this particular point, they need human resources. They are extremely skilled. And the only way they can survive is collaboration. That means they're actually, most of the startups are originating from the universities. Okay, the universities are having incubator concept, where they help startups to develop the technology and be a player in the EV space. So
very nice.
So in this scenario, so my point of view is the collaboration is the necessary resource where industry need to help the startups. The university are creating ecosystem to help the startups, so that as a whole, the country will grow. So with this, I'm going to conclude point here.
Dhanyavad. Navanil Das ji, would like to throw some light on this topic, please?
Well, Yeah. Well, sir, actually, as you know that I represent GIZ, which is the German Development Corporation.
Yes,
And
yes.
I think we are already working with ISIEINDIA on this matter that recently we have developed something called an e-mobility course for polytechnic students. So
Very nice.
that course is being adopted in 2 states right now, like in West Bengal and Telangana, and we are in discussion with other states as well. And also this, I mean, we being a German bilateral organization, we do not charge any money or anything. So this is a completely open to all course which anyone can use. So basically the idea is that we thought that we will develop this course, and before that we did a lot of survey, a lot of research to understand what is the present scenario in terms of, I'm not talking about companies, like I'm sure like all the big companies which are present in the market right now in India, they have created their own ecosystem. Like Mr. Padhi can tell me about that since he is representing a big corporation, I mean a big automobile manufacturing company of India. So, but what about the other organizations like especially for the MSME sector, they need a lot of people to manage their, their manufacturing chain or their service garages and so on. So, I mean, we would not call our course as an e-vehicle course, we would call it as an e-mobility course, because we have tried to capture, the charging station, the battery and everything. And one more thing, sir, I also wanted to mention here that we have not stopped there. So we are still working on that. Like number one, we're working on how to revise this course, because though once this course was developed, and by the time almost 1 year is over, and we all know that, the people from the panelists from industry can support me in this matter, that the technology is fast changing. Like after every 1 to 2 years, it's changing. So we are again going to revise this course next year. And we're also trying to focus on certain important things, like especially the battery management thing, the green hydrogen and things like that. So to summarize, I can just say that the GIZ being a German organization working in India, and we are very open to, type of bringing the technologies from Germany, from Europe to India, and helping Indian industry and Indian skill development ecosystem to support them into this whole thing. So that way, we are very eagerly looking at this developing market that is happening in India, both in terms of in terms of OEMs, the other big manufacturing and small and medium manufacturing companies, as well as in the education sector, like what the organizations are doing. Like ISIEINDIA has developed this ecosystem of training on mobility, and some other private institutes or some state governments are also doing. So we are actually trying to, capture the best things and then develop something so that it can cater to all the students of India. So
thank you, sir. Dhanyavad.
Thank you.
In fact, another question, which is like annexure to this one, as we're all aware, NSDC report says that there will be at least 10 million direct jobs in EV industry. Now, my question to panelists is how academia and industry partnerships are necessary to create adaptive skilling and education program awareness to make EV as a primary career option. It's in fact more or less continuation to the previous question, but more specifically, I expect answer from the panelists, please. Anybody can just take over.
Yeah, let him take this question.
Please.
So before that, we need to understand, as per the research by E&Y and along with the SIAM, ASDC and NSDC, they published a report, and as per them, they say it as the Automotive Mission Plan 2026. As per that, they have stated very clearly that this auto industry, which was contributing close to 7.5% of India's overall GDP. At present, it is close to 8%, and it will be contributing close to 12% by 2030. And we are into a growing economy. So definitely it will be contributing a huge amount of money. In terms of money, it will be like 3.5x to 4x. But they have also stated there will be 3 critical changes that will happen into this auto sector. The initial trend is into the manufacturing trend, and second is into the sales and service, where a lot of digitalization is coming in. Whereas in the manufacturing, a lot of changes due to the introduction of Industry 4.0 and IoT TC. And third is the government regulatory changes. So when I say government regulatory changes, a lot of research and development will happen to accommodate the regulatory changes. Also, they have said the industry needs to shift up to 35 to 40% of their overall volume so that they can to the exports, so that they can be a part of the growth. So all this, while stating all this, we also need to have the desired skilled workforce. Technically, when I was part of one of the research, we found we have only close to 5% people who are skilled enough to adopt all those skills which I was talking about. So that is the reason why, Society of Indian Automotive Manufacturers, where I am also part of that group, where we are doing research to figure out the skill gap. What is the skill gap at this moment? Because the industry is practicing something and the technology is changing continuously. So we are doing the skill gap study. For that, we have developed close to 100 questionnaires, and we have taken support of Automotive Skill Development Council, where they will be going to some of the pilot colleges. There they will be putting the questions, and based on that, we will be recommending the Automotive Skill Development Council to change in the NOS and their qualification packs. So second one is the skill gap study, second is the curriculum development. Then third can be the industry-driven courses, as very rightly stated by one of the co-panelists, that the technology will continuously change. Means it is not easy for the academia to cope up. That is the reason why you also need to have some dual mode of education, wherein students need to study in the academia at the same time. They can come to the industry where they can, learn the real world scenario, maybe through the OJT, and also incubation centers needs to be developed or set up in the universities itself, so that industry can mentor the students. And more than that, we also found there is a gap in the instructors or the faculty level. So industry subject matter experts needs to be in the council of universities, so that they will keep on changing the or developing the faculties and the infrastructures time to time, so that whatever NSDC is talking about, 10 million new jobs will be coming in, but we should have people who can adapt those. Otherwise, industry will not stop. Industry can bring people from outside to part of the growth journey. That is what I am seeing at this moment. So industry and academia needs to work together. Maybe more collaboration is required. We need to open up more so that we can bring changes. That is what I could able to perceive.
Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot for your thing. I request Alok Reji to respond to this, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I see this thing in a different way. I mean, if you can see that from last 1 year, the total industry growth is almost, in terms of two-wheeler, 12 times, 1,200%. So definitely we need some, we are lacking in the skill segment, especially from the colleges side. All the companies, forget about the higher positions, but in a nascent stage also, we don't get any, any skilled manpower supply from the academia. So definitely there is a big gap. Although Skill Council of India is working on this, we are also affiliated with the council. But until unless the private sector, the private colleges won't come into the picture, I don't see anything, anything rapid happening in the future. So it will take time. But yes, academia is now very serious and very, very positive. The only thing is how we are going to invest in the skill development side. Who will going to invest? Is it government? Is it private sector? Or is it the colleges? So this thing, I think someone from the college side, if can answer, that would be the better.
Thank you, sir. Sayalji, could you please?
Yeah, I think,
please.
I think it's a very relevant point, because This has been experienced all the time in the history and in the past, we can say that. Whenever the new technology is coming, we need to have the investment in terms of the labs and infrastructure, because it's very rightly said that the industry, they don't get the ready-made people, and that's why I said in my opening the remark that the role of educational institution plays an important role, and especially the government at state level and even at central level. And the skills are identified, but how we are going to really bridge that gap by providing the skilled people, I think that is very important. So here, I think we have to also come towards the industry and how can they help us to understand, what happens, most of the time when it comes to the academicians, we set the program structure in terms of, I'm talking about the subject basket, understanding the old, the traditional way of doing. But now if you look at it, ICT and NSDC, Niti Aayog, right, all are helping us to identify the niche areas. But then the issue comes, rather than infra and R&D, I feel that the trainers are more important, teachers are more important, right? So the skills sets which are required with the faculty members are required to be developed in a big term, right? Because they don't understand what it is. Because when you go and ask to any faculty member, immediately they will say that, yes, I am a teacher for electrical engineering or electronics, right? But I do not have experience. How does these motor vehicles work or EV vehicle works, right? So we need to look into it. So I think your role of companies which are there in India, I'm very happy that I think the earlier speaker made it to a point that he is from Germany and he has set up the lab, collaborated with the institutions and started launching that program. I think the number is to be increased now, right? Don't stop with only one person, right? May not be you don't invest, right? Don't go only with one particular university or a school or an institute. But then if you can offer it at the larger platform, right? There are many institutions in this country, those who have that capacity and appetite to invest, right? So they are interested. So if you can support them by giving the technology inputs, right? I think that will make a huge amount of difference.
Electric folding cycle. Yes, ma'am. Electric folding cycle, which I have, I think, posted on LinkedIn and various platforms also. And I won the title of Mr. Innovator in recent exhibition, which was of all 4th year of Prayagraj BTech students. And ma'am, now I am facing the problem that after making this, I want some labs and some fields, some teams, some guidance. Or
directly come to the question, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. I just want to ask, sir, how can I get that platform to represent and do the R&D of my projects?
He wanted to know how can he be access to do further courses or R&D in this EV sector.
I can comment on this to Rituraj Sahu. He has to reach out to any incubator. So incubator will going to eventually help you with lot of opportunities. They also do seed funding for your potential startups or potential research. So, okay. So I think most of these premier institutions, they have a incubator. So you can go there and register yourself with very nominal fees, extremely nominal fees, and explore research activities over there. They will going to help you.
Yeah, also you can connect with us.
Yeah, that's.
We run a Hero Campus Challenge. So millions of people they participate there. Otherwise, also you can directly write to me. I would like to support you.
Very nice.
Whatever way I can.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's really great help. I think my dear student, you can visit AICT also. They're coming up with the Idea Lab, which Ramesha BS has said to you, right? So I think go to the incubation centers where you can immediately get the support from the angel funding also, and they can guide you also. There are technical experts which are available. They will help you to resolve it. I can see one very nice message which has come to our chat box, which has been written by alteruniversity.com, where they are sharing the student license, So I think you can also refer that. And I'm sure that you will get the support. Don't worry. Don't lose the hope. There are people who will definitely help you, and be in touch with ISIE India, because it's the largest platform which gives you the same kind of mindset people, Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, dear.
Thank you. Thank you. Alok ji would like to add something here. Alok ji.
No, sir, I'm very okay with what the honorable.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Actually, very good and lively discussion. What I would like to conclude here is, being academician, in olden days, teacher used to motivate students about motor. Now, the situation has just turned turtle. Students are getting motivating intern the old staff members about new technologies towards EV. So it is like a machine which we teach in a primitive way. It can be acted as a both generator and motor, depending upon the input and output. As we all of us know, a motor which takes electrical energy and gives mechanical energy is a motor we call. Otherwise, if it's a mechanical energy is input and electrical energy is input, we call generator. So it's a bidirectional. So that is exactly being seen in the scenario EV industry sector from the both industrialists as well as academicians. So one side of that box is industrialists, other side of the box is academicians. So if we work together, then automatically the bidirection is possible, and whatever the question raised by Raiturazu and other participants whom he is representing will become true within short period. That's what I believe. I would like to conclude the session like that, if I am correct. Any questions, anybody please? Okay. Now I request Vikas ji to continue, take over further. Vikas ji, over to Vikas ji. Vikas ji, hai kya idhar?
Asa is trying to speak. I guess his voice is not audible. I'll just confirm.
Sir.
Vikas
My
ji,
suggestion, Professor.
I'm audible, sir.
now audible.
Yeah, sir. So the session was wonderful, and I just want to add one thing in terms of industria, and the second thing in terms of the academia. Like we as a tech platform working since 10 years in this EV space. And we find that the industry as well as academia is facing a lots of challenges. The industry, in terms of industry, they are facing to find the real talent in terms of skilled employee. Right now, every industry is posting their requirement on the LinkedIn and everywhere, because they are facing a lots of issue to find the real skilled employees who can join the EV industry. So we are working on the same space. We are working on the upskilling of the industrial persons as well as the graduate trainees, graduate engineers. And in terms of the academia, we are really looking to collaborate with a good institution, good universities, as ma'am already suggests. And we are focusing to set up lots of infrastructure with the help of industry. We have already collaborated with the Altair as a software partner. So they are helping us to provide the solution to the students as well as the academia free of cost, as the free license versions are there. As we are integrating with our workbenches, with our infrastructure, so the maximum number of students and the industry professional can benefit through this customized workbenches, through this infrastructure. And we are setting up these center of excellence. Basically, I'm talking about that. In lots of industries as well as academia, we are also going to set up this facility in Hero Electric in Gurukul under the guidance of Sudhanshu sir. And we are going to provide trainings to their employees, as well as lots of institution already has set up this facility across the nation, have 14 centers, including the IIT's Mandi. So this is all how we are helping to the students, to the industries, to the academia. And definitely we are looking to collaborate more with the automobile giants and the top universities, including DY Patil, definitely. So
Yes,
thank
please
you
share the details.
Thank you for coming and sharing your thoughts on this skill development and the challenges faced by the industry and academia. So hope this session is wonderful for the participant as well as for we people. Thanks.
Just now I said that a black box is there, left side industrialists, right side academicians. So that black box is nothing but ISIE. ISIE is a black box. Now
Integrators.
Revealed, yes. Interfacing between the industry and academia.
Integrators,
So-
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Maybe
Coupling.
another point. Just let me come in. Means
Please.
there are things available, but we need to connect the dots. Okay?
Exactly.
Where the integrators will be playing a very vital
Important.
role.
Very nice, sir.
Exactly.
Very nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
very much.
Vikas ji. Thank you, Suresh ji. Thanks a lot.
बहुत
Thank you.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
So I
Thank you.
just request one thing.
Thank
If
you, everyone.
we can turn on the camera, we can just take one
Photograph.
click one photograph. Yeah.
धन्यवाद.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So much.
धन्यवाद.